Hi guys! So yesterday we read the beginning of Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type. Today we're going to finish reading Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type. And I told you that I wanted you to become authors. What's an author again? The person who writes the words. Good job. And I loved hearing what some of you said to Farmer Brown and to the cows and hens. You did a wonderful job with your writing. So today we're going to finish and find out what happens. So we learned that Farmer Brown was getting a letter from his cows and hens. And what did they tell him? What did they demand from him? Electric blankets. And he said, no electric blankets. So what did they do? They went on strike, right? They said, no milk and no eggs if you don't want to give us electric blankets. So Farmer Brown did what? He wrote them a letter. Good. And now we're going to find out what happens next. Here we go. Duck was a neutral party, which means that Duck wasn't on the cows or the hen side, and she wasn't on Farmer Brown's side. She was in the middle. She was neutral. So she brought the ultimatum to the cows. So she brought Farmer Brown's message to the cows. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Oh my goodness, the cows are having an emergency meeting. And all the animals are trying to listen, but they can't because they don't speak moo. Do you speak moo? No. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown the letter. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. So they said, what are they going to give Farmer Brown? The typewriter. But what do they want in exchange? Electric blankets. Let's find out what happens. Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal. So is he going to take it? Yeah, he thinks that's a good idea. They're going to give him his typewriter, their typewriter, and he's going to give them blankets. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. Look at those cows and their blankets. You think they're nice and warm now? Probably. The next morning he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety, clack, quack. So the ducks were supposed to bring him the typewriter, but what did they do? They took it and wrote their own note. And it says they wanted a diving board. Let's look at the last page to see what happened. Did they get their diving board? Yup. So they made a deal with a farmer and he gave them a diving board. All right. So we talked about many characters in this story. Do you remember what some of them are? Good. Farmer Brown was a character. The cows were a character. I want you to go through and remember the characters in the story and make a list with your parents, okay? What is a character? Do you remember what a character is? A character is a person or an animal that the story is about. And we read about many characters in this story. So I want you to list them with your parents and talk to them about which characters were in the story. And then if you want, you can also talk about your favorite character from another story. Okay? So a character is a person or animal that the story is about. All right? I hope you guys have a great day and I will see you tomorrow.